Jared, thank you so much for accepting this video interview today.
You're
So
welcome.
I really believe that what you're doing with Pulse in Uganda is really inspiring. So thank you so much for sharing with us today your story and the journey of Pulse. So there has been a number of changes and developments over the last few months, and I was really, really happy to witness them and to participate to the improvement of your social business. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. But first of all, for the benefit of those watching us, can you please introduce yourself, who you are, where you live, and what do you do, and what's Pulse all about?
Sure. So my name's Jared, Jared White. I'm currently the managing director of Pulse Village Transport. I live in Kampala, Uganda, where the company is based. And Pulse is basically an innovative social enterprise that currently has one main product, which is the village ambulance that was designed specifically to help rural communities access healthcare, especially expectant mothers and young children. And the company has been around since February of 2014. So it's a new startup, and we've learned a lot in the last year, and there's still a lot to learn. So
Great. And can you tell us more in what situation you were a few months ago before we started the mentorship slash advisory, as you like to call it?
yeah, so
So
before
back in
doing
September.
yeah, so before starting the crowd mentoring, we were basically in a place where we were still trying to figure out a few things. There were some specific challenges that we were having that we shared with the crowd mentoring, and through the experience, sharing what our challenges were and still are, but not as much, thanks to the crowd mentoring. Yeah, we were able to get advice from different people from different backgrounds who have had different experiences. And I think collectively, what they shared really helped us a lot to kind of overcome some of those challenges and really work through them and figure out, what possible solutions there are, and then figuring out which ones would work well for our specific context in Uganda. So yeah, it was a pretty fulfilling experience. Learned a lot from everyone, and yeah, just really grateful for the whole experience.
Okay, and can you be a bit more specific about like one or two of the problems that you faced and did not have like the answer at that time?
Yeah, so our biggest challenge as a startup is revenue. So whether that's from sales or grants or equity investment, and so we were looking at sales specifically and trying to figure out what are other opportunities we have in sales for this product, because one, the need's there, and two, it works. So who and how do we get this product in front of the right people so that they'll actually not only like the idea but actually buy it? And so from a lot of the advice from everyone, we came up with a few different ideas. Some of them we had already thought of ourselves, but just hearing different people from different backgrounds also say them kind of reiterated the fact that we needed to take some action and be a little bit more proactive on those things. One
Mhm.
specifically was diversifying our products. So since February, we've only had one product, the Village Ambulance. And so from crowd mentoring, some of the mentors advised, listen to what people need, listen to their needs, and from there you can come up with other products that you can offer them. And so that's what we did. And we've come up with a couple that are in their concept phase that we're hoping to introduce next year, in January.
Great.
Yeah.
And before the crowd mentoring, what did you expect from it? What did you hope?
Before starting it, I just hoped that our idea would be, how would I say, yeah, that people would believe in our idea, enough to be able to kind of help us work through our challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been part of organizations where, the collective are much better than one person and their idea. And when you're a startup, usually you don't have as much money, especially if you're a small or medium-sized enterprise. And for us, we have a small team, and we're always all working together. And it was really great to talk to people outside of even Uganda, and just get their different perspectives and listen to what they had to share. So I was just hoping that people would give good advice, that people would like our idea, and yeah, I don't know, help us prove that our model can actually work, that we can actually make this business work. So.
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned earlier that one of the results was to basically take action to diversify your products. Um, and what are the other results?
Wow, other results. I would say there's quite a lot. I think more than I expected. Um, the other challenges, there were other ideas that were shared. To give specifics, we wanted to prove the impact of the ambulance
Mm-hmm.
and figuring out how do we do that and what's the best way to do it. And so there were a lot of ideas on how to collect qualitative and quantitative data that kind of help prove the impact the ambulance is having on the communities in the individual lives. And I think that has really helped us to figure out a strategy on how and what data we need. So that was really helpful because our team doesn't have anybody very experienced in data collection or statistics or monitoring and evaluation or measuring impact really. So it was good to get input, and some of the mentors, I mean, they have, I think, at least a master's, if not a PhD, um, in social return on investment, which is very much related to measuring impact, and so it was really insightful. Learned a lot of things that I didn't otherwise know. A lot of great links, a lot of great resources that were shared, that kind of led us in the right direction. So yeah, it was good. I mean, a lot of things that I didn't know were shared, which is really what it's all about, is learning things that you didn't otherwise know.
Okay, and I don't know if it's confidential or not, so I might, erase this part of the video in case it is. But can you also talk about your meeting with the First Lady?
Yeah, so I think one of the things specific to our challenge with sales was we were very much focused on NGOs, nonprofit organizations, that are basically dependent on fundraising, um, to be able to buy the ambulances, to implement them in the communities that are in need. And we realized that we needed to also diversify our target audience, and looked at who else would be interested besides NGOs. And so corporate companies was one, so looking at corporate sponsors, companies like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or really any brand that would want to potentially consider the ambulance as part of their corporate social responsibility, and that something they would want to identify their company with. Besides corporate sponsors was the government. So looking at who within Uganda, within our context, is very much interested and even an advocate for improved access to healthcare. And one of the people that stood out when we did research was the First Lady of Uganda. And so realizing what she's done already, and just her passion for, especially maternal health and women in general, um, we basically sought out a meeting and ended up getting one. And she's very, very interested in what we're doing, loves the product, and actually wants to get some for herself and for some of the areas, in the country that really are in great need of access to healthcare. So Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Very
All right.
fantastic.
And yeah, just to I remember when we talked before. I think your meeting with Coca-Cola. Basically, one of the challenge that you were facing was that innovation takes always time for people to love it and to buy it, and especially in Africa where everything takes more time.
Yeah.
And so when you're a social enterprise, most of the time you provide an innovative solution, something that doesn't exist. And so the time is a big challenge because if you don't manage to get money in,
Yeah.
you can't sustain your business. So I think you've done a great deal diversificating. I don't know if we can say that in English. Anyway, and I really hope you'll get very positive results very soon and on time.
Thank you.
One last thing, what would you say to other social entrepreneurs who hesitate to get strategic help?
Oh, wow. Good question.
Because it's
I,
not always easy, to share like, okay, well, my balance is like that
yeah,
much, and then like my product, and it's not always that easy to share with someone you have never met before
yeah,
what truly your problems are.
yeah. Oh, wow, advice I would give. I think it definitely takes a certain level of humility to kind of admit that you need help. I think a lot of startups actually fail because they don't seek out help when they need it. They just think that they can do it on their own, that things are going to work out. And I just think that to a certain degree, yeah, that's true, but I think you can't go wrong by getting advice from other people, and especially talking to people who have more experience or have a specific area that they're a professional in, where you may not have that, and it can only benefit you. I mean, you don't have to take everything everyone says and apply everything. You can pick and choose what would work for you, and yeah, I mean, it was easy for us to make the decision because we were approached and asked if we would be interested. So we were kind of invited. So I think it would definitely be a little bit harder to seek it out versus somebody saying, "Hey, would you like some advice from different people who have experience, different backgrounds? This is what they've done." Um, but yeah, I would encourage anybody who has the opportunity to go for it.
Great. And do you have a final word or anything you want to add for either the people who are watching this video because they are interested in Pulse, or they have something to do with Uganda, or other social entrepreneurs around the world who are looking for inspiration?
Oh wow, inspiration. I would say, hmm, I would say if you are inspired to start a company, whether it's a social enterprise or not, that it's something that you care about, something that you're passionate about, something that kind of makes you come alive when you're doing it. Because personally, I feel like if I wasn't doing this type of work, it's very fulfilling. Manufacturing ambulances to help people out in the villages, out in remote areas that don't have a way to access healthcare. I don't know if I would enjoy it as much. I don't know if I would be as motivated as I am. I don't think I would have even reached out to get advice from other people to try and make this thing work. So yeah, just do something that you enjoy, something that you are passionate about, and yeah, that's the advice that I have.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Jared, for sharing your story with us today. I will put the link of your company just down the video so people can visit your website.
Oh, great.
And maybe in a few months when they visit, they will see all the brand new products that you are going to launch in 2015.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.